Tensions in the Strait of Hormuz are nothing new, but every now and then an incident happens that really makes you hold your breath. This is one of those stories. It involves a massive American aircraft carrier, a much smaller Iranian submarine, and a game of cat and mouse that could have ended in disaster. The stage for this drama is one of the most critical maritime choke points in the world, the Strait of Hormuz. For those who don't know, this narrow waterway is the only sea passage from the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. A huge percentage of the world's oil supply passes through it every single day. So when military posturing happens here, everyone pays attention. Our main players are the USS Abraham Lincoln, a Nimitz-class aircraft carrier, and an Iranian Ghadir-class Miyat submarine. Let's put this into perspective. The Abraham Lincoln is a floating city. It's over 1,000 feet long, displaces more than 100,000 tons, and carries a crew of thousands, plus a full air wing of about 90 aircraft. It's the pinnacle of American naval power projection. On the other side, we have the Ghadir-class submarine. These are tiny subs, only about 95 feet long, designed for shallow coastal waters. Their main purpose is to lay mines, launch torpedoes, and conduct covert surveillance. They're stealthy and hard to detect, but in a direct confrontation with a carrier strike group, they're massively outgunned. The incident unfolded as the USS Abraham Lincoln and its escort ships were transiting the Strait of Hormuz. This is a routine operation for the U.S. Navy, meant to ensure freedom of navigation. But for Iran, seeing a U.S. carrier so close to its shores is always a provocation. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy, or IRGCN, often shadows and sometimes harasses foreign warships in the strait. This time they decided to do more than just shadow. An Iranian Ghadir-class submarine, along with several IRGCN fast attack craft, began to move in an unusually aggressive manner towards the American carrier group. Now, a U.S. carrier never travels alone. It's the centerpiece of a carrier strike group, which includes cruisers, destroyers, and its own submarines, all working together to create a multi-layered bubble of defense. The moment the Iranian sub and boats started their approach, they were being tracked by every sensor in the strike group. The commanders on the Abraham Lincoln had a decision to make. How do you respond to a potential threat without escalating the situation into an all-out conflict? The Iranian submarine was reportedly closing the distance, getting well within torpedo range. This is an incredibly dangerous game of chicken. A single miscalculation, a single itchy trigger finger, could lead to an international crisis. The U.S. Navy's response was a masterclass in de-escalation and showing force at the same time. Instead of firing a warning shot, which could be misinterpreted, they used their most powerful non-lethal asset, the carrier's air wing. An MH-6OR Seahawk helicopter, one of the most advanced anti-submarine warfare helicopters in the world, was immediately dispatched. The Seahawk is equipped with sophisticated sonar systems, including dipping sonar, and can carry torpedoes and depth charges. The helicopter flew directly over the Iranian submarine's suspected position and lowered its dipping sonar into the water. This is a very clear and unmistakable message in the world of naval warfare. It says, "I see you, I know exactly where you are, and I can eliminate you at any moment." For the crew inside that tiny Ghadir submarine, this would have been a terrifying moment. Their primary advantage, stealth, was gone. Suddenly, the hunter became the hunted. The pinging of active sonar from the Seahawk would have echoed through their hull, a constant reminder of the incredible danger they were in. On top of that, a P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft, essentially a militarized Boeing 737 packed with sensors, was also circling overhead, tracking the sub's every move. The message was loud and clear. You are surrounded, and you are completely outmatched. The Iranian submarine commander, faced with this overwhelming show of force, made the only logical choice. The submarine immediately broke off its approach, changed course, and moved away from the American carrier group. The fast attack craft also backed off. The crisis was averted. The USS Abraham Lincoln continued its transit through the strait without further incident. The U.S. Navy demonstrated that it could and would protect its assets and enforce international law, but it did so with a level of restraint that prevented a shooting war. This incident is a perfect example of what's called coercive diplomacy. It's about using the credible threat of force to make an adversary back down, without actually having to use that force. So, why would Iran even attempt such a risky maneuver? It's all about strategic messaging. For Iran, challenging a U.S. carrier, even if it's just a brief standoff, is a way to project strength to its own people and its regional rivals. It reinforces the narrative that Iran is a powerful nation that won't be intimidated by American military might. It's a high-stakes publicity stunt. They likely never intended to actually attack the carrier. That would be suicide. But by getting close and forcing the US to react, they create a propaganda victory, claiming they faced down the American Navy. However, from the US perspective, it's a dangerous and unprofessional action that needlessly raises the risk of miscalculation. The U.S. Central Command later released a statement condemning the Iranian actions as unsafe and unprofessional. They highlighted the fact that these maneuvers violate international maritime law and norms of behavior. The real danger in these situations isn't a planned deliberate attack. It's the risk of an accident. What if a nervous sailor on one of the Iranian boats had fired a weapon? What if the submarine commander had misinterpreted the helicopter's actions as an imminent attack and launched a torpedo in self-defense? The situation could have spun out of control in seconds. This cat-and-mouse game in the Strait of Hormuz has been going on for decades. We've seen incidents involving mines, fast boat swarms, and drone flyovers. Each time, the world watches nervously. The global economy is so dependent on the free flow of oil through this choke point that any disruption could send shockwaves through the markets. That's why the US and its allies maintain a constant naval presence in the region. It's not just about projecting power. It's about ensuring stability and protecting a vital artery of global trade. The technology involved here is also fascinating. The ability of the carrier strike group to detect and track a small, quiet submarine in the noisy, shallow waters of the Strait of Hormuz is a testament to the sophistication of modern anti-submarine warfare. Or ASW. It's a complex dance involving surface ships with their powerful hull-mounted and towed sonar arrays, helicopters with their versatile dipping sonars, and long-range patrol aircraft that can cover vast areas. All of this information is networked together, creating a comprehensive, real-time picture of the underwater battlefield. The Ghadir sub, while stealthy for its size, simply couldn't hide from this web of sensors. This incident also underscores a broader strategic reality. While Iran cannot match the US in conventional military power, it has invested heavily in asymmetric capabilities. These are tactics and weapons designed to exploit the vulnerabilities of a larger, more powerful adversary. Things like submarines, fast attack craft, anti-ship missiles, and naval mines are all part of this asymmetric strategy. Iran's goal isn't to win a head-to-head naval battle with the US Navy. They know they can't. Their goal is to make the cost of any military action against them prohibitively high. They aim to be a porcupine, not the strongest animal in the forest, but one you really don't want to mess with. In the end, this dramatic encounter between the colossal USS Abraham Lincoln and the tiny Iranian submarine was a high-stakes bluff that was called. Iran made a bold move to challenge American naval dominance in its backyard. The US responded not with brute force but with a precise and overwhelming display of technological superiority, effectively telling the Iranian sub, "Checkmate." It was a tense few moments in the world's most volatile waterway, a reminder of how quickly things can escalate, and a testament to the professionalism of the US Navy personnel who kept a cool head under pressure. The Strait of Hormuz remains a flashpoint, and you can be sure that this won't be the last time we see this dangerous game of cat-and-mouse play out between these two navies. What do you think? Was this a brilliant act of de-escalation by the US Navy or a reckless provocation by Iran? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more deep dives into military and geopolitical events. We'll see you in the next one.